Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Take care of your mental health. And I know I usually do an inspirational message in this time and space, but this is more of a plea. This is more of a plea, and for people to get out there and really take care of your mental health. Really do that. Deal with the things that are really mental health issues. Because you can have money. You can have good looks, nice body. You can have all the material things. But if your mental health is off, that's going to mess with you. Everything starts in the mind. And people really need to deal with it. A lot of problems out here can be traced to mental health. Like when people are going through stress, that should be seen as a mental health issue. If you're going through a situation, you being stressed, that's stressing your mental health. Because stress, they talk about, especially in the black community, diabetes and blood pressure. But that's ultimately come from stress. Your blood pressure goes up, in response to stress. And then people don't realize the extent where eating is based on our mental state. We might overeat or eat something with more sugar in it, too much sugar in it, and that influences that. When people talk about, they put on weight, that's more of a mental thing. That's why some people, until they deal with the mental health thing, until they deal with their mental state, can't lose weight. And they can do every diet, they can exercise, but it still doesn't go down. Because one of the things is a lot of people, in response to that stress or the mental anguish, will eat. And they will eat more than they need to. But they always come back to the mind. And then there's other things. There's other things that should be seen as as a mental health issue. Loneliness. A lot of people try to act like they're good being alone, but human beings on a biological basis are built to interact with each other. When we interact with each other in a good way, we feel good. When we constantly get, I'll say, negative energy from people, it actually affects us. People want to be a part of a tribe. We're built that way, literally. We are literally built that way. I mean, medical science, they can actually track what's going on in your body. In fact, when somebody is sick in the hospital, one of the best things for them is not the medicine or being taken care of, but just being visited by loved ones, being in that presence. That's very important. Bad relationships. And I've talked with this, and I haven't got into it deep. I'm known for talking about relationships, but there are aspects I really don't talk about because I honestly, sincerely believe they should be dealt with by mental health professionals. There's a lot of mental health issues. When somebody's in a bad relationship, that's a mental health issue if they're in that relationship because of low self-esteem, or if they get with somebody for low self-esteem, or they put up with abuse. That's a mental health thing. When somebody doesn't take care of themselves, that's a mental health thing. Like, I remember someone, I think she was a therapist, and she was talking about someone who you almost had to force them to just clean themselves. That's a mental health issue if someone doesn't want to clean themselves on a regular basis. That's a mental health issue. Another mental health thing is, this could apply to relationships, this could apply to work, life. When you have people who self-sabotage themselves, and I've seen this on jobs, I've seen this with people in relationships, it's like they do stuff to hurt themselves. And everybody can see it but them. But that's a mental health thing. Anytime, the human being, any animal, their first instinct is self-preservation. But if it's somehow short-circuited or there's a mental health issue, They don't do the things necessary to self-preserve. They sabotage it. Like you see people, they'll sabotage their chances for success in life. They'll sabotage their relationships. Like they can't see it. They'll blame everybody else, but they really doing it. But a lot of times we'll just say, oh, you got to stop doing it. But at some point, we have to look at their mental health state. That's why I say there's some point in relationships, I've actually done this during coaching. I've actually recommended, I say, I don't think I can really help you. You really need to go see a mental health professional. Because that's how deep it is. And a lot of, you got to think, even overall, and that's almost a book, serious research project. Nobody seems to talk about it. We're giving advice, including myself, but there are just some people, the issue is a mental health thing. And I've seen that. I've seen people not deal with someone because of their mental health issues or have problems connecting with people. So it's serious. It's a serious thing. And that's the thing. Everybody should take care of it. That should be a priority. If you need to get a mental health professional, go for it. Now, some of the things I talked about, stress and loneliness, well, you know what? You might need to leave that job that's causing stress or leave the situation that's causing stress because it's not healthy for you. Loneliness, well, you might have to deal with the issues of why you're not connecting with people. Because it's deeper than just saying, hey, just go out and hang out. What reasons are you not doing that? You might need to talk with somebody. There might be some trauma. A lot of people, let me tell you what, many people have some trauma that they haven't addressed. It could be from feeling unloved as a baby. It could be from divorce. It could be from a feeling of abandonment. It could be from a feeling of rejection. It could be from a feeling of people, feeling like you're a victim. It could be 1,000 things, but then people have to deal with it. And people have to deal with those issues before you can move on. And, it might take a lot of things. I'm not going to give a diagnosis, say, hey, if you just do this, everything will be okay. Every single person is different. And that's why sometimes, just popular advice on whatever doesn't do. Even the popular advice I give, I can speak, but if it gets deeper than what I'm saying, I'm telling every single person within the sound of my voice, don't be afraid to go see a professional. Don't be afraid to. And see if you can get from that professional what you need. See, that's another thing too. Don't just go and just think, and it'll be okay. One, you might not get what you need from that professional. Two, you gotta be honest with yourself as to what you do need from that professional. Because sometimes people go and they're not getting what they need. But if you don't want to go to a professional, go to an elder, go to a spiritual leader. Talk it out with somebody. Sometimes we need to talk it out. A lot of people walk around with stuff inside of them. We walk around with stuff inside of us and we're not dealing with it. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you might have to write it out. Something, but you got to confront it. You got to front it. But at the main thing, take advantage of it. Relax sometimes, Like with the stress thing. I would definitely say with the stress, relax sometimes. Have some fun. Have some fun. Life is, yes, we work, but we don't want to work all the time. Have some fun out here. Deal with it. Do something that's fun. Do something that relaxes your mind. Because regardless of how much money you make, regardless of how you look, everything starts in the mind. So your mental health is paramount. So that's all I have for today. Take care of that mind. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Keep rising and transforming. Peace.